at Pegasus Parkway in LaGrange, or on State Road in West Point, Georgia, next to Frisky Whiskey. Come eat with us at Summit Grill.
I don't know about you ladies, but I love to keep my car clean. The only problem is my schedule. I just don't have time to wash it myself, but I have found the place to go. The LaGrange Car Wash on Vernon Street in LaGrange. They have great prices, and I always feel comfortable there. They do an amazing job. And if that's not enough to get you to give them a try, they also get you in and out in no time. LaGrange Car Wash on Vernon Street in LaGrange. Open 8:30 to 6, Monday through Saturday. Just look for the giant gorilla at the LaGrange Car Wash.
Everywhere you look on your campus, some event is happening, and that's the way you want it. But keeping your active campus clean and looking its best isn't easy. Nonetheless, National makes it look easy. Low staff turnover and a commitment to excellence allow National to ensure your campus from top to bottom, inside and out, is always perfect and spotless. Parents and students alike give us a 4.0, and we settle for nothing less. You'll like having National on the job.
Visit us at teamnational.com to see what National can do for you.
You're listening to the Matt Mumme Air Raid with Jack Morlman and LaGrange College head coach Matt Mumme.
Welcome back to the Air Raid Football Show right here on Eagle Sports. Come out and join us at Marisol. We're having a great time tonight. We're talking about the football game against Everett last week. And, Coach, we've been kind of hitting at it, getting close to it, but now let's kind of get to the end of the ball game. The first thing I want to focus on is that Everett was leading late in that ball game. We needed a touchdown extra point to tie the ball game, and that's exactly what you got from your offense.
Yeah, it was an interesting situation. I mean, there's about a minute 10, I think, a minute 15 to go in the game. And they scored, and, the whole time they were driving down, I thought they were just going to try and run the whole clock out and kick a field goal and win it, which they probably should have done, right, from the start, but they didn't. And so then I started thinking, well, I'm going to tell my defense to just let them score to leave me enough time to go down and get the score. And
because a minute 30 in the air raid offense is a long time. We talked about that in our broadcast.
Right, not a problem for us, and that's what I was trying to do, and I ended up trying to conserve a timeout too. And so they scored, and then they come out to kick the extra point, and they end up personal fouling one of our defensive ends. And so it gave us a huge advantage on the kickoff because it moved them back to the 20-yard line. They had to kick off. And then instead of just kicking it deep and forcing us to go the whole length of the field, they squib it, and Brendan Thomas, a freshman tight end for us, makes one of the most unbelievable diving shortstop catches in football and gets us the ball right there at like the 35-yard line. And so it was one of those deals, and I told Brendan after the game, I said, you realize that you're the whole reason we made it to overtime. And, and the offense came out, and we had a couple of good plays, and we had one bad play, and then I think we had like 47 seconds left, and we took a timeout, and we got it dialed up, and we knew we could get Lavelle Meeks lined up one-on-one with a short corner on the right side. And Meeks just did a great job, got down in the end zone, and Connor Blair threw a dart high to where he needed to.
It was a beautiful pass.
And Meeks went up and got it.
And the whole place just exploded. The stands, everybody was up on their feet, super excited. The Codwood kick was good. I'll tell you what, extra points all night long. He's working hard on those. I think, did we have one block, I think?
We did have one blocked, and that later in the game caused some concern for me. And, of course, we go into overtime, and then we win the toss in overtime.
We finally won the toss.
That was great. So, we, of course, we deferred, let them go on offense first, and they go down and score. I think it took us 2 plays to score in the first overtime. So then we had to flip-flop. And, the second overtime, and I think it takes us, 3 plays to score in the second overtime. And, again, my offense is doing a great job. Our guys playing great. Felton Huggins, my offense coordinator, calling great plays.
Well, and defense was making it hard for Everett. I mean, they really were. There were several times Everett would get a third down situation. They get the first down, but first and 10, they could get another first down inside the 1 or something like that. But the defense was holding them out. It was not like they were getting 2 or 3 plays.
And they got them to third and 10. And I thought when we got them to third and 10, I thought we had it right where we wanted. And I know Brandon Penn looks back on it and probably says he wishes he had that one back because he stepped in front of a pass down the middle of the field, and it hit him dead in the chest, dead rights, and everybody in the stands kind of,
There was a moment.
There was just a moment, and everybody thought he had it, and we're waiting for the eruption to, because the game was going to be over, and he dropped it. So it was a difficult one, and then, of course, they went down and scored, and and we ended up in overtime number 3.
So the third overtime came about, and that one's the one that was a little bit tough as we drive down. Actually, again, very quick, got down to, I think, first and goal from the 2, and then our fortunes changed.
Well, everybody out there has probably questioned or does not like me for the play calling that I did down there. And, and we thought we were on the 2-yard line. They actually spotted us on the 4, I believe. And so for first down, I already knew Drew Lewinsky was out of the game. Jamarcus Holmes had a sprained foot and was just basically standing in. And my other guys were out. So, everybody would think you would just run the ball in that situation. Mm-hmm. The Averett defense gave us, an all-out pressure look where they were coming after us because they thought we were going to run it. And so, I felt like the best play for us was to leave it in Connor Blair's hands and try and throw it over the top and score and end the game.
And they step in front of it. They get the interception. Leads to now the game's not over yet, but they do come in and are able to get the field goal to win the ball game there in the fourth overtime. But the thing that really jumped out at me, Coach, is that you and I have talked about this. This is your offense. I mean, your offense is predicated on the pass first and finding ways to you move the ball down the field. And this was not some drawn out of nowhere play. This was very typical of what the air raid offense does.
Yeah, I mean, this is what we do every day in practice. We work it, and my hat's off to Averett. They probably, they know we like that play, but at the end of the day, Patrick Gooden did a great job of beating his guy at the line of scrimmage.
He was open.
And he was wide open. And Connor read it, and what Connor told me was that he thought it was so wide open he could just loft it like he did, and he short-armed it and he threw it high, and that gave the linebacker a chance to fall from the line of scrimmage back and just basically became a center fielder and picked it. And, it was very difficult. I mean, the whole stands went quiet. Everybody, probably wanted to come down and say something to me at that point in time. But, again, what you're going to do as a football coach is you're going to put the ball in the hands of your best players, and you're going to give them the opportunity to win the game for you. And knowing my 3 running backs were hurt, I just didn't feel like, that was going to be a situation where we were going to be able to run it.
Also, you mentioned that earlier we'd had a block extra point, so that's on your mind as well. A field goal would have given you an opportunity to win, but if they block it, then we're just right back into the fourth overtime.
Well, yeah, and historically for us here at LaGrange, I mean, last year we lost to Barry by a blocked field goal. We had 4 or 5 blocked field goals last year. We've had 2 blocked this year. We had 1 blocked in the first half. I was just in a position where I didn't want to leave it to that.
Right.
I just wanted to score the touchdown and finish the game. And you know what? I mean, I learned here, and who knows? Hopefully, we don't get stuck in a situation like this again. But we'll definitely think about how we handle it.
Well, not to belabor the point, but let's walk back. A touchdown on a passing play they took you into overtime. Where your guys do exactly what you intend them to do. You get 2 more touchdowns in overtime to lead you to a third overtime. So I mean, this is what works, and it has worked all the time for the LaGrange College Panthers.
Well, I mean, we threw 7 Connor Blair got USA South honors again 2 weeks in a row. I mean, he's thrown for 1,017 yards and 13 touchdowns in 2 games.
Yeah.
I mean, this kid.
It's a season.
Yeah, and this kid knows what he's doing. I mean, it's not like I had somebody out there that was going to be his first play or something like that. And so and I told Connor, I said, look, I'll take the blame for it. This is not on you. We could have probably found another way to have gotten in the end zone, but you got to learn that when we teach you to throw balls like you're supposed to, you got to put them right where they're supposed to be.
We're going to take a break. We'll get the other players of the game, and we'll talk about our upcoming ball game coming up this weekend as the Panthers will be traveling. But right now you're listening to the Matt Mumme Air Raid Football Show on Eagle Sports.
Great dining starts at Mare Sol on Main Street in LaGrange. Open Monday through Saturday for lunch and dinner. Locally owned and operated by Charles and Chase Hudson, who have created a fun atmosphere with delicious food for you and your family. So no matter if you're out with friends and want to visit at the bar or sit down for a family meal, Mare Sol is here for you. Mare Sol, Main Street, LaGrange, on Facebook and on the web at maresolrestaurant.com. When you choose a dentist, you want to know that you made the right decision. So where do you start? Go to BellDentalCenter.com. That's the right way to begin to know Dr. Bell and his staff. And then drop in at 106 Corporate Plaza Drive in LaGrange and visit with the staff. And you'll know that this is the right place for you and your family. Bell Dental Center offers comprehensive dentistry with an emphasis on aesthetics, restorative treatments, mini dental implants, root canal therapy, sedation dentistry, as well as Botox and Juvederm treatments. Bell Dental Center. Visit their website at BellDentalCenter.com.
Mention LaGrange College and the word one pops up a lot. Like the student-faculty ratio is 11 to 1. That means plenty of one-on-one time with professors. Our students work for number one companies, earn Emmy and Grammy nominations, and they give back to their communities, which is wonderful. We are LaGrange College, one of the South's most affordable, highly ranked institutions. One visit, and you'll see why. lagrange.edu/journey.
Now back to the Matt Mumme Air Raid with Jack Mormon and LaGrange College head coach Matt Mumme.
Welcome back to the Matt Mumme Air Raid Football Show right here on Eagle Sports. We're live from Marisol. Thank you for joining us tonight. If you're out here eating, you can hear us. If you're not, hopefully you're hearing us out there on the radio. Well, Coach, again, we did fall 65-62 to Averett, but you had some great performances. We talked about Keontae just a little bit ago. Let's talk about your other players of the game.
Yeah, so my defensive player of the game for the BSN defensive player is Fabian Ryan, has been doing a great job for us all year and really starting to become a leader. He had 10 tackles, and he had a tackle for loss. So, still expecting bigger things out of him the rest of the way, and hopefully he can help lead that defense on that side.
Is he a freshman or sophomore?
He is actually a sophomore. He's
Okay.
a transfer from Valdosta State. So, we look forward to watching him basically grow up in this defense.
Bill and I were talking about him during the ball game because he kind of been in the shadows a little bit. Slappy and several other guys. We tend to call out Brandon, but I called out Ryan's name. I was like, did I get that right? Fabian Ryan, do I have that right? And then, the seventh or eighth time I've called his name, I'm like, wow, this guy's really making something happen on the field.
And, he doesn't play. He really doesn't play as many plays as probably people think. But when he does, I mean, he just does a great job of getting there. He's high energy. He's a good motor. And when he does, he's happy about it. He's happy about every play he makes.
Something we've noticed that you're doing on defense as well is you're running guys in and out. You got a lot of fresh guys on the field. And I know that's giving a lot of guys an opportunity, one, to get on the field to play, but also giving you fresh legs as you're having to move up and down the field so much.
Well, Earl's done a good job with our defense, and in doing that, he's able to keep guys fresh, especially with an offense like us who tends to score really fast and, pretty much puts the defense out on the field for longer lengths of time. But, that's been a great job by Coach Chambers.
Well, let's go. That's the defense that we talked about the special teams. Let's talk about offense.
Yeah, and so our Kemp's offensive player of the week, there was plenty of guys we could have chosen from, but Marcellus Jackson is really starting to get going this season. He had 5 catches for 70 yards and 2 touchdowns. His touchdown in the overtime is the play of the week, which I tell you what is one of the most amazing things for people that haven't seen it. Connor Blair actually sheds off 3 defensive linemen and finds Marcellus, who ends up making the rest of the defense miss him to get in the end zone for the score. He's really done a tremendous job. He's a really fast kid. He's a senior, and he's done a good thing, and I'm looking forward to watching him the rest of the season.
He's also very elusive once he catches the ball. I mean, he's not just the guy that's going to be a possession receiver, catch it and drop.
Yep.
He's going to find a way to get yards up the field.
Yeah, and all of our receivers have done a great job, and that's, we just moved up this morning in Division III rankings out of 294 teams. We're actually the number 1 passing team in the nation. We're the number 11 total offense. So, the offensive guys are really lighting it up, and hopefully we can keep on track.
I was just look at some stats from USA right now with over 1,700 yards, leading Luke Bailey, who's the quarterback at Huntington. Huntington falls this weekend too. They've been usually it's kind of Huntington-Maryville going back and forth in USA South, but they had a big loss this weekend.
Yeah, it was a tough loss for Coach Turk and them. I'm sure they're going to try and look to get back on track this week.
We're just continuing that out. Nick Myers, Kelly Hall. Nick Myers from Maryville, Kelly Hall from Averett, and then Nathan Gardner from North Carolina Wesleyan. That's who beat Huntington. Those guys are really coming on strong, but over 500 yards separate the number 1 and number 2.
Yeah, we're just really, offensively we're really clicking. Coach Felton Huggins has done a tremendous job coming up with great game plans. Great job coaching Connor Blair, and Knox Robinson's doing a tremendous job with the receiving core, who are, there's so many of them too. We can get you in such a variety of ways with all the skill kids that we have, and they're fun to watch, and it's one of these deals where it's we're going to be wide open and we're going to throw it down the field and we're going to attack as fast as we can.
We'll take one more break. When we come back, we'll talk about where we're
starts at Marisol on Main Street in LaGrange. Open Monday through Saturday for lunch and dinner. Locally owned and operated by Charles and Chase Hudson, who have created a fun atmosphere with delicious food for you and your family. So no matter if you're out with friends and want to visit at the bar or sit down for a family meal, Marisol is here for you. Marisol, Main Street, LaGrange, on Facebook and on the web at marisolrestaurant.com.
You're listening to the Matt Mumme Air Raid with Jack Mormon and LaGrange College head coach Matt Mumme.
Welcome back to the Matt Mumme Air Raid Football Show live here from Marisol. And Coach, before we talk about where you're traveling to, you have another guy that's been injured, and he's been a big part of your team.
Yeah, I just want to send a shout out to Royce Owens, who's at the hospital right now. Young man compound fractured his arm on late Saturday night and ended up having surgery on Sunday and is obviously done for the season, and that's a huge loss for our defense. Royce has already been a 2-time captain for us this year and has let in the game I think he had 11 tackles and a sack and so he's done a tremendous job, and we're all upset that he's not going to be there, but definitely our prayers go out to him.
Well, he'll be I know following y'all, and now he won't probably get to travel because of his injury as y'all head to Greensboro.
He actually is going to have surgery again on. This will be his third surgery on Wednesday, so he's probably going to be in the hospital till Friday. So he won't travel with us this week. But I did tell him, I said, as far as moving forward, you will travel with us.
That's excellent. That's excellent. Of course, we'll be traveling to Greensboro. Coach Crum and his team up there, we need to go get a victory out of this because this is we're in conference and we need this to move forward.
We do. We missed one this last week, so we've got to get on track and go up there and take care of business. Coach Crum's a first-year head coach up there at Greensboro, and I know he got in late, and so probably the amount of guys he was able to work with probably isn't where he wants it yet. But he's doing a decent job so far, and we're just going to have to go up there and take care of business.
All right. Well, folks, you can listen to the game off the website. They'll be streaming it there. There's usually video that you can find there on the LaGrange College website. But our thanks to Coach Mumme and all the folks that represent us here at Marisol. They're enjoying their great food. I invite you to stay with us if you're still on the radio. We're going to be having the Granger Gridiron Show coming up right after this. But our thanks to Coach Mumme and his team. We'll see you next week on the radio.